Hello everyone, thanks for joining today's data modeling part 2 session. In today's session, we will see the different types of relationships, and also we will see that how to deal with the many-to-many relationship. Next, let us understand what is active and inactive relationship. Followed by this, let us understand what is cross-filter direction, how to enable bidirectional relationship between tables using DAX function, and also we'll see automatic date tables. Next, we will see how to create date tables using different approaches manually. First off, what is a relationship? Relationship is nothing but filtering. Supposing you wanted to query the value from more than one table or two table. Let's say in this case two table. If you want to query the values from two table, you need to have the relationship between two tables. In order to have the relationship between two tables, you need to have a common column between these two tables. Only then you can create the relationship between these two tables. In this case, the department number in this employee table and the department number in the department table are common between these two tables. Hence, we created a link between these two tables using this column. This is nothing but relationship. So why do we need to create a relationship? To filter the data. Since we have the relationship between these two tables via the department number. Let's say in this case, the value of the department number 10 filters the corresponding department number related records from the employee table. Similarly, the value of the department 20 in this table filters the corresponding department number 20 related record from this table. In this case, we have only one record. So, in order to filter the data or to pass the data from this table to another tables, right? So, one table to another tables, we need to have a relationship. There are different types of relationships are there in the data model. So the one is one to one, other one is one to many, many to one, and many to many relationship. What is one to one relationship? A single person can have only one Aadhaar number. A single car manufacturer, or let's say in the case of salary account, a person can have only one salary account. He cannot have more than one salary account. One to many relationship. In this case, a single employee can work on more than one project. As a single car manufacturer can produce many cars. The next example is a customer can order more than one item. What is many to one relationship? More than one employee can work on a single project. More items ordered in a single order. The next one is many to many relationship. So in this case, multiple records in a table are associated with multiple records in another table. For example, many employees or more than one employee can work on a single project. A single project can have more than one employee. So in this case, you cannot have the direct relationship between these two tables, because this is many side. Here also we have a many side. You cannot have the direct relationship between these two many tables. So for example, the employee table has the employee ID column and employee name column. The employee ID in this table is the primary key column. Similarly, in the project table, the project ID is the primary key column. This is P name. It's not employee name. This is the P name, project name. This is project name. Supposing you wanted to query the value from these two tables, you need to have a relationship between these two tables. In order to have the relationship between these two tables, you need to have a common column between these two tables, but we don't have the common column between these two tables. So how do I query the value from these two tables? So now to address this, what we can do is we can create a project ID column here. Either you can create a project ID column here, or you can create employee ID column here. Let us say I am going to create a project ID column here. But the issue here is this employee is, let's assume that this employee is working on more than one project. He is working in SEA01 and also he is working in REA01. So in this case, what you need to do is you have to store these two values, because he is working on two projects, SEA01 and the other project is REA01. You cannot store two values in a single column. It is violating the normalization rule. So what is the way out? What is the solution now? How we can address this? One solution is you can create one more record for the employee ID 101. So here you can have SEA01 in this row, and the next row you can have REA01 for the same employee ID. But in this table, employee ID is the primary key column, hence you cannot have the duplicate record. So what is the solution? How do I query the value between these two tables? So now you are not allowing me to store more than one value because it is violating the normalization rule. To address this, we introduce something called link table. Link table, it is also called as a bridge table. In the case of dimensional modeling, it is called factless fact table. Factless fact table. So in this table, we store the employee ID and the project ID. But here you can have the duplicates for the employee ID column. Similarly, you can have the duplicate ID for the project ID column. So here the employee ID is the foreign key to this employee table, and the project ID is the foreign key to this project table's project ID column. Here the employee ID for employee ID 101, he is working in two projects. So we store two different projects against him by having two employee IDs in this table. Similarly, for employee ID 102, he is also working in two projects, SCA01, let's say he is working in HCAR, so 102 HCAR. So here in this case, this is the one side of the table and this is the many side, and this is the one side table, this is the many side table. If we have two one-to-many relationship, tables are there. This is how you can store the many-to-many related data in the link table. So without the link table, you cannot query these two tables. Hope you understood how to resolve or address the many-to relationship with this example. In the next session or the next video, we'll see how to establish the relationship between tables in Power BI's Power Pivot.